Professor Jonathan Moore.
Why are you here?
Congratulations on season 4. Penn, how does it feel to step back into that role again?
It always feels like a warm bath. Those barely contained rage. It's pretty nice. I usually have back problems about 2.5 months into every season, and I think this one was no different. So I knew I was doing my job.
Oh, really? Wait, so does being in this role make you like rethink wearing ball caps in public? Like, is that a thing for you now?
It is actually, in the event that I'm putting one on so that I can shield my face, I always have to think, is this more or less, is this working for me or working for me? It is actually something I have to think of now, which, is its own thing.
I ran away from all this. But one of you is watching me. One of you is hiding in plain sight.
There's a lot of loose ends from season 3, and there are a couple of people in this season who know Joe's true identity. So how does that play out?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, who knows his true identity? I guess it happens along the way, doesn't it? There's the person who knows Joe's identity,
right?
Which you know, so that's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole thing, the first 5 episodes are a different genre. They're a murder mystery. You're trying to figure out who's the killer, and the irony is that Joe's trying to figure it out.
All motives always boil down to sex, money, or revenge.
Right. Okay, so Amy-Leigh, Nadia, you play Joe's or Jonathan's firecracker student. What kind of trouble does she get into, and does she survive this season?
I mean, that was the question. I think that's like the question when they join the show that everyone wants to ask. They're like, do I survive? Am I going to make it? But I think people will be surprised by her as well, because I think in the first ep, and as well, if I hadn't had, because I've watched the first 3, if I was a viewer, I'd be like, I've sort of got her figured out. And I think people are going to be surprised a lot in this series, but definitely by Nadia for sure.
What's it like for you to see Penn like switch into that character?
I think he's just so good at it. Huh? What did you say?
Not as impressive as you thought it would be.
Because you're so good at like snapping in and out of it, and then like, yeah, it's. I think a lot of the time, like, Penn finds it, like, he doesn't have much to say because a lot of his thoughts. So there's a man stood, like, behind the camera, bless Paul, reading in all of his thoughts.
Oh.
But the good thing about my season of Penn is that that's actually, we had conversations. Like, we had a lot to talk about, the Nadia and Joe. So, yeah, it was more lighthearted, the scenes with Nadia and Joe.
You're a murderer, Joe.
You're wrong about me. I'm gonna prove it to you.
So even though this is what I find fascinating about the fans of the show, some of the fans, even though Joe does some awful things, there are still like a lot of people who romanticize him. It's like the people who write love letters to serial killers in prison. Like, what do you, Ben, what do you make of that?
Well, I mean, in as much as it is connected to the writing love letters to serial killers in prison, which it's not at all the same thing, because we've designed this character to be very charming, and so many people find him charming.
Yes, yeah.
But I think it is at least, we've done that in order to look at this kind of phenomenon you're talking about, and the whole show is an exercise in the ways that we've misunderstood love as a human phenomenon. Really, I do think that's what the show's about. It's not about a killer, because at the end of the day, he's not a clinical portrait of a serial killer. It's not about mental illness, and of course that plays a role in it, but it really is about, I think, what we think about love. It's like, isn't what love isn't. What is it saying? I think we're all learning that along the way. I don't know, but we definitely think some pretty strange things about love.
It's like the line between, healthy and unhealthy forms of obsession almost.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's again, I think by the close of this series, should it have another season, should it reach some great conclusion, I'll be able to say a bit more clearly what it has said about love. But for the time being, at least we know what love isn't.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, oh, I used to think that was love.
Right.
Longer love to me.
It's also not the stabby kind. Like that should never enter into the equation. For all the dark energy that this show can have, how do you guys lighten things up on set? Or are there any lighter moments that you guys do to like break it up a little bit?
I think there's a lot of light moments because the cast are lovely, the crew are lovely. So I thought it would be more intense joining a show like this, but the intensity just is there in the script. So I think anytime you can't like offset and in between scenes and just hanging out and chatting to people, you want those light-hearted moments. You can't really think if you kept it going, it would be.
Yeah, that's very much the way I feel. I mean, I may not be always laughing, but I feel like I'm always joking, and I'm always.
You are, yeah.
Much, I'm not ever trying to make it heavier than it already is. I'm just always actually bringing lightness. In fact, in rehearsal, I almost 100% of the time am usually just adding lines that aren't there because I have nothing to say.
It's all yeah.
And just like adding things and just trying to make a joke out of it up until they say action, and even sometimes I'm unable then.
Hello. No, I am not interested. Nope. Not interested.
One more question. Will we see a recurrence of an original character that we saw, I believe, in season 1, and that is the glass cage? Does the glass cage make an appearance, and is there like an English term for a glass prison? I don't know.
The box.
The box. I call it the box, yeah.
Not really a box. Clear.
We can't tell. That is a straight spoiler.
That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. Okay, I got it. All right.